Welcome back to Cubing Fanatics, episode 6. This one's going to be a pretty fun one. We're just going to be mainly discussing a theory of stuff and not really explaining what's going to be happening like we've done for the past every episode. So we got, the usual stuff. We're going to do recent records, and then we're going to do we're going to bring back cubing trivia, and then we're going to do a little deep dive into what really sets apart world-class cubers from the average speed cuber for that main part of that segment. So we can just get right on into recent records, I guess.
So we got some exciting recent records today. So Samir Agrawal with a 463 square one average. We were actually at a competition.
That's world. That's world record.
Yeah, world record.
Yep.
World record. We were actually at a competition when this happened, and I remember one of my friends. We actually had him on the podcast, Gordon. He liked square one, and he was like, he counted like a 6 or something like that. I forget what he said.
Yeah, he counted a 6.
he counted like a 6, and then he also had like 2 counting 3s.
Yeah.
So, the funny thing about this average is it could have been sub 4 if Samir hadn't. I don't know if he choked or if he like.
I haven't personally watched it. I honestly should. Pretty curious if he actually did fumble that solver. Honestly, if it was really just a bad scramble.
Yeah, but I just think that's interesting because square one, some people say, was in a race with 3x3 for a little while, like who was going to get the sub 4 average first. And square one almost got sub 4, almost.
Yeah.
Sorry, sub 5. No, sub 4. Yeah, sub 4. Sub 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, our next recent record, we have Max Park with a 846 OH 3x3 average, and that was, I think that was continental, like
it was North American NAR, yeah. Okay. Yeah, and that's 6th in the world now. So
yeah,
it seems
average,
he's finally catching up to the Rue users. I mean, once people started adopting Rue, they surpassed him pretty quickly, but I feel like he's gaining a better positioning than what he was.
Yeah, because I remember it was him and I forget that kid's name who does Rue.
Sean Patrick.
Yeah, Sean Patrick. It was like him and Sean Patrick, and Max Park was always getting a bunch of records, and I was like,
Sean Patrick was always right behind him.
Yeah, when you saw world record for OH, you immediately went to Max Park, and I had no idea that he was like world ranked 6 for OH. I had no idea.
Yeah, he fell behind fairly quickly once Rue caught on, I feel like.
Yeah, just something interesting to keep in mind. Learn Rue if you want to be good at OH.
Rue does seem to be the method for it right now, which we've also talked about, I'm pretty sure, last episode as well.
Yeah. Also, our last recent record for this podcast, we have a 0.87 second Scube single, which is world rank 4, and I'm pretty sure is a continental record for Europe. It's Poland by a guy named Simon Bragil. I'm hoping I pronounced that correctly. I'm sorry if I didn't. But yeah, that's world rank 4 Scube single, so pretty good Scube single there.
We got Simon and Timon, huh, from Poland.
Yeah, those 2 guys. Yeah, he got Scube.
Dude, imagine if Simon was just as good as 3x3 as Timon, and they were paired up for when they do the country face head to heads, Nations Cups, and you got Simon and Timon right next to each other. Simon.
Yeah, but and for new cube releases, we have the Sheng Xiao Yacht. I'm just kidding. We don't have any new cube releases.
No,
Um,
not unless you're interested in like IV cubes and all those.
yeah, if you
Um,
like Sheng Xiao Yada mixes, if you like to carry around your cubes in your arms, I mean, the Sheng Xiao Yada mix is there. You have a spare $1,300
we're
laying
speaking
around.
to that specific one single cuber
Yeah,
who cares
yeah,
about them. He's the only one who buys them.
yeah,
Like that's for you.
yeah.
Have
I
fun.
bet you have the Moyu 21 by 21 as well. Okay,
Yeah, that's
should
yeah.
be
So that's about it for the records. Yeah. So okay, we're doing this thing we've done before. I'm not sure when we did it, but it's cubing trivia. So how it works is we ask each other three questions, and I'm not sure. Did we take turns, as in like we each ask each other three questions, or did we do on and off?
No, I actually remember this specifically. So we actually did some cubing trivia, I believe. No, never mind. We did games, but we did cubing trivia. I think in episode 2, I believe. And you went. I went first, so I asked you all my questions, and then
Oh
you
yeah.
asked me all
Okay.
your questions.
All right. And currently, the standings are 1-0. So
My favorite.
and in Josiah's favor. So we're gonna we're gonna change that and tie it up, hopefully. But I feel like because I feel like I got some good questions, and so yeah, so it's first to. I'm not sure. What do we do when we tied? If we tied,
So I don't think we figured out a tiebreaker, but I do know that if you're close to the answer, you get half a point. Um,
yeah,
and
yeah. So if you're
I
marginally close, you get half. I feel like
forget. Yeah.
I feel like if we tie, I think we ask each other an additional bonus question,
Yeah,
and
that sounds
that
good. That sounds good.
yeah. All right.
Okay,
So
so
I will start first. I
yeah,
normally
you
would
asked me
offer
the
it to
question.
you. I'm a pretty nice guy. I'm pretty humble, pretty awesome at most things. I would usually ask you to go first, but since you went first last time. Wait, no. Since you
Yeah,
yeah
I
since
asked you
you
questions first.
yeah so yeah so I'll ask you questions this time.
Okay, I'm all nervous because I don't know
Okay.
how you're gonna do.
So I have pretty interesting questions, and so they're pretty unique in a way of all three questions you're going to be timed to answer
What?
them.
No,
You
wait,
specific
wait a minute.
Yes, because they would be very easy to answer if you had a lot of time to sit and think about it. So this is going to
Okay,
be a quick
one,
little
one,
thing.
one moment. One moment. So this, what I'm looking at right now, is full screen, and my phone is right here. So I'm gonna keep my hands up, like right about here. I'm not looking at my phone, guys. Okay, I'm being
Yeah.
trustful.
Yeah. So we're not cheating in this. At least I'm not, because I'm a pretty awesome guy and I would never cheat. Pretty good at everything. Anyway, are you ready for your first question?
How much time do I get?
So for this first question, you get 3 seconds to answer. And the
What?
last
3 seconds?
the last thing that you say, the last answer that you give me at the end of 3 seconds, I will take as your final answer. If you do not give me a final answer satisfactory or whatever, like if you start spouting off a bunch of them, the last thing that you say will be your final answer. If you don't give me like a clear answer, right?
Okay. Okay. This is like totally throwing me off. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So the moment after I'm done saying this question, I will start a timer. I'll give it like half a second for you to process what I
Okay.
said. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
In the official WCA database page and website, how many events are there officially?
17.
All right. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
I mean, it has to be because it was already 3 seconds. But yes, you are correct. It is 17.
Yes. Okay. I,
It's fine.
I thought it was like I thought maybe like 23 or something.
By the way, forewarning, the word I am not using, do not mistake the word I use for this next one as cubes.
Okay.
Just to let you know. Don't think of it as 3D, like a 3D thing.
Okay. Okay.
This might be confusing. Sorry. All right. You get 5 seconds for this one.
5. Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yes.
How many squares are there on a 3x3 Rubik's Cube?
How many squares? 24. Or
It
are you
is,
talking about like one side?
I said on a cube.
Okay, so yeah, 24.
It's 54. It is,
Dang it. I
there's
missed
nine,
the.
there's 9 on each side. It is 9 times 6. 6 sides. 54.
I know. I said 24. See, I knew what I was going for.
You got 4, but I'm not giving you a close answer. I'm not giving you a half point for that.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That's okay. This one you get 30 seconds.
I get what?
30 seconds.
30. Well, okay. Easy.
Okay. All right. And I'm only gonna repeat it twice.
Twice. Okay.
Sorry, I'll say it twice. If you need me to repeat it one more time, I'll repeat it. But with the
Okay.
timer will still be going.
Okay.
All right. In 30 seconds, how many world records does Felix Zemdegs have? Is it A 132, B 119, or C 121?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I know this. It's 121. Is it?
Is that your
That's
final
my final
answer?
answer.
All right,
Yes,
you
that
got.
is my. Yes, let's go. So
You.
is that
I'm
2 points?
surprised you knew that. Yeah, 2 points.
Yeah, I thought, man, Felix was my hero until Timo came on.
Okay. What about Simone, man?
Simone, yeah, I don't know, man.
All right, so that's 2 out of 3. Dang
I
it,
actually
man!
feel good about that.
I really thought you didn't know that, man. All right, that
Yeah,
sucks.
that like, and you even made it easy on me. You give me like multiple choice, so like,
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it would. I feel like if you didn't know it, it would have been like almost impossible if I didn't give you a
yeah,
3 choice or whatever.
yeah,
All right, I
I
guess
knew it. Yeah,
it's my turn.
it's just a weird thing that I know. I guess. So, let's see. So these aren't timed. So
Yeah, mine was fun. I get as much time as I want now.
yeah, that was fun actually. No, you get 2 seconds to answer this thing.
Mhm.
Okay, so I think one is either going to be hard for you or is going to be a gimme. So just remember that.
So basically, I'm probably gonna get 2 out of 3 as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking you're going to get 2 out of 3. Okay, so my first question is, what is the name of the puzzle that solves like a 2 by 3,
Public
but
cube.
all of the colors are the
No,
same?
no, that's not my answer. Okay, that solves like a 3x3, but all the colors are the same. Oh, a mirror cube.
Ah, dang it! You got it.
I was really
It's a
confused
mirror
for a
cube.
second. I was thinking public cube. I got that in my brain for a second.
I think I also would have taken ghost cube. So I think some ghost
Mm,
cubes.
I don't know if it doesn't solve like a 3x3. I think
Yeah. Okay. So mirror cube. That was my answer, and you guessed it. Okay. This
one.
one is either gonna. This next one is either going to embarrass you highly, or you're gonna be fine with it.
If
You're
this
gonna
is
get it easy.
supposed to be an obvious one, I'm gonna get it wrong. Just letting you know though.
Okay. Well, this is an obvious one. What does PLL stand for?
Permutation of the last layer.
You got it. There you go. I was worried about you for a second.
Now ask me.
You
Oh,
could
let
sweep.
me get 3 out of points.
I
I'm,
definitely think you might get this last one. This one's definitely the hardest. So
okay.
my final question is: who was the first person to get a sub 5 Rubik's cube solve in competition?
Sub 5. Say it again.
Sub 5 Rubik's cube solve, so 3 by 3 solve in competition.
Sub 5 single. Okay. In a
Yes.
competition. I know Felix had a 4.31 record, but that definitely wasn't the first. And it's probably not Felix. I mean, it could have been Felix. It could have been Lucas Eder, maybe. Although I'm not sure. I don't think Brit. No. Ooh, that is hard. So it's either I'm thinking Max, Felix. Could have been. Was it Matt's Valk? Oh gosh, this is hard, man. First sub
No.
single, and I do know this person, right? Like I.
Yes, you would.
Okay.
You would know the person. It's not like some Korean person that you have no
Yeah.
idea who it is.
Yeah, sure.
It is someone you
Oh wait, no. What was Yusheng? Is Yusheng Du right? Yeah, Yusheng Du.
know. Okay, is that your final answer?
Sure.
It was Lucas Etter.
Darn it! Oh no.
He got a 490 in 2015.
Okay.
So yeah. Wait,
All right.
you said Yusheng Du.
Hmm.
It was sub 5.
Oh.
Bro,
That was so.
no.
I mean,
I just realized.
I was still thinking in my brain sub five. I just wasn't. I don't know.
Okay, well,
I mean, I probably wouldn't have picked. I would have picked like Felix anyway if I didn't think Yushing Do. I don't think I would have
well,
picked Lucas.
you know what this means? We tied.
Yeah, we tied. So we're gonna have to do an additional question. So we're gonna be cutting right here. All right. So we're gonna have to do like bonus questions. Yeah. So do you want to go first or no?
Um.
So I guess I can go first because you just went,
Okay.
and I want to go
Okay.
so bad because I'm pretty good at all this stuff.
Okay.
Um. All right. So this is gonna be okay. It's gonna be another timed one. You get 20 seconds. Okay.
Okay. I'll time you then. I'll time you.
Okay. 20 seconds. I can repeat it one more time if you want, but it'll be while the timer's going.
Okay.
All right. So okay, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
When was the first ever cubing competition held? 1985, 1982, 1979.
1982. I'm
Is that
just
your?
too good at this. I'm gonna say that's my final answer.
I hate you, man.
Let's go. I'm so good at this cubing trivia.
We might have to do another tiebreaker, man.
I literally all I do is I wake up every day. I sit at my computer.
I'll
I
study,
just scroll through
man.
cubing trivia questions. That's it. That's all I do.
This is the last time we're
Okay.
doing this game, man.
Okay. Are you ready for your question? I won't time you because I'm in the lead right now. So your
Okay, cock.
question is I feel like if you watch J Prim's video, you should know this question. You should know the answer to this. So what is God's number on the 3x3? You know what this is? Like, you know what God's number is?
Yeah. 20.
We're gonna have to come up with whole new questions now. You got it right. No.
How about this? We're gonna do a coin
Rock,
flip.
paper, scissors. No.
No, we're gonna do a
Coin
coin
flip.
flip. Yeah.
Oh no, we're doing a coin flip.
Yeah, coin flip.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Are you
And
gonna Are you gonna do it?
I will not lie because I'll try and do it as best as I can on camera.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Okay. I've got a coin here. What are you gonna be?
Bro, come on,
Heads or
man.
tails? Heads or tails? Sorry, I swapped it for a fake coin, a weighted coin, while I was bending down.
I'm gonna say heads because I'm ahead of the competition.
Yeah, you have a big head. All right. Did you see that? Did you see a flip?
Yes, I did. Yes.
It's tails.
No, no. I can't even see if I'm gonna trust you. Yeah, okay, I see it now.
It's tails.
Okay.
I promise I didn't cheat because I didn't even need to cheat because I knew I was gonna win. So I won that game based on skill.
Completely based on skill. Kind of weird that the guy flipping the coin got one. I'm just kidding. I'm just
Sounds
kidding.
like a you problem. All right.
Okay.
So I guess I
So
won that.
yeah, we're tied. We're tied up in keeping trivia 1-1. If you want to see the segment again, throw it in the comments.
And I'll delete that comment because I'm never playing this again. because you know, I want to sign off as a champ.
He's
Yeah.
gonna be like, oh, bye.
I'm retiring at the height of my career. It's the best thing to do, you know. Anyway, with that, we're probably gonna move on to the main part of this show, which is like I mentioned before, we're gonna kind of talk about like what we think makes the difference between an average speed cuber and a top of the line elite speed cuber. Like Josiah versus Max Park, you know what I mean?
Or like Noah versus like Timon or something, you know.
And we're calling Timon the average cuber though. They're
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. No, seriously. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. I would definitely say the biggest part of that is like it splits into two main factors, which is muscle memory and pattern recognition, which is what we've heard a lot. And I'm sure everyone else has heard it all the time, repeated over and over, but that's literally because people repeat it because it's true. And I would say practice, but I mean, obviously, practice is like, if I had to put a top three, I would say practice, but I feel like, I mean, those two come from practice, but like, once you have them, they rise over practice. So I'm giving them the top two spot. And would you agree with that? Like muscle memory
Uh,
and quick, the quickest pattern recognition that you can possibly achieve is what it takes to be as good as
well,
those people.
to add on top of that, I'm not sure what you meant by like pattern recognition, but like I think algorithms is definitely up there. Like you can't become fast using layer by
Well,
layer.
yes. What I mean by that is like being able to recognize the color pattern, which as in like T perm, for example, which is an algorithm. The moment you get to the last stage in a solve like in the solving state, it's called PLO, and you need to try and recognize that state as fast as you can. And the top elite cubers can do it basically before even finishing their like second to last step. And I think that's what part of what sets them apart is that's what I mean by pattern recognition. By they literally can see, they know what the cube looks like at the very end, so they can just then set in their muscle memory, which is their TPS, and they're like they're not conscious of what they're doing to just finish that move already. So the conscious part of the solve takes place first, and then the autopilot comes in second, which is the moment you recognize the case, you just let your fingers do the rest, and you don't need to think about anything. And their muscle memory and recognition are so lightning quick that that is the reason why their times are that fast and low or whatever, is because of the hours and hours, and sometimes even born with some of those health traits that are like more active, but hours and hours and hours of practicing those specific things, not just solving a cube over and over, but specifically targeting those two big rooms, muscle memory and pattern recognition. So like muscle memory by spamming the algs until you literally it becomes your second nature, and pattern recognition by learning new algorithms and learning what they look like when they are in a specific position, and getting so masterful at those two studies will always, no matter what, I feel, propel you to the sky.
Yeah. Well, I don't. I also want to ask this question: like, what defines a world class speedkeeper? Because like, are we talking about somebody who specializes in a certain event? I'm not saying that they aren't world class speedkeepers, but they're only good in that event. Like, I don't
Yeah,
really. I'm not going to throw anybody out there as an example, but like, just some people are specialized in one event, and then some people like he specializes in a bunch of events. Is he more of a world class speedkeeper than, let's say, Timon, who really specializes in 3x3, or Yi Hang, who really specializes in 3x3? I mean, what
so
really?
yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
think to answer that, you need to go back to what really defines a speed cuber. And what a speed cuber is, as we know, is someone who is able to solve a puzzle, like a 3D 3x3 or any rendition of that puzzle, extremely fast. And so when I am asked to define a world class speed cuber, I define them as someone who is able to solve one of the a puzzle. Speaking about the event, the official events, someone who's able to solve a puzzle extremely fast, much faster than the average speed cuber. So I wouldn't necessarily define, like, you can group world class cubers into different categories, but no, there's no better category and no worse category. A like Stanley Chapel. I mean, well, he's a okay. Like, if I were to take like Ryan Pilot, for example, he's an amazing all rounder. And if I were to take Max Park, who basically only specializes in by ins, if I were to compare them, I would say they specialize in different categories. Like Ryan's a ton times more better at Pyraminx than Max, but Max is a ton times more better at 3x3 than Ryan. They have different categories. They're both world class cubers. Neither, whether it depends on up to you if whether which puzzle is better. Like, do you prefer Pyraminx or do you prefer 3x3? So neither's they're both objectively better. There is a matter of objection or opinion. I'm sorry.
yeah,
So I wouldn't say any kind of category rises above another. And I would say that although there are different categories of speed cubers as an all rounder or a 3x3 world class cuber or something like that, they're all world class in the same level as one another. But I would classify them all, no matter if you do one event or 50 events, you're still a world class speed cuber if you rise much above the average speed cuber.
yeah. I definitely agree with that. Because no, if you're an all rounder, you're good at pretty much every event. That's awesome for you. But then you also have to think, this person over here that really specializes in one event, they also put in a lot of hard work and practice. So you can't just say, oh, they're not a speedkeeper because they're not top 100 in the world for this event. But they still did practice quite a bit. So I think you're right on
Yeah.
that.
And
Um,
I would, sorry, I was just going to ask you a question. If you just had to statistically say, statistically define a speed cuber, what kind of ranking would you define as world class level? Do you feel like
so
just as a specific event, really?
as a specific event,
Like take three
um,
by three.
3x3. Okay. So
Well, 3x3 is probably the most competitive. Take just Pyraminx.
okay. So as you all might know, I made pyramids, and once upon a time, I was 89th national in the country. So I would say top 100
But then he fell
national
off, and
rank.
now he's washed.
I'm not why.
One
Okay,
of the worst
but
cubers I know.
but the problem with saying top 100 national rank is you have, no offense to anybody, but then you have countries like Jamaica, or like, I don't know, Greenland,
Less
where,
competitive areas.
yeah, they're just not as competitive as the United States of America, or China, or um
Poland.
the Europe. It's just not competitive enough. So I would say top, like, I'm gonna go world ranking here. Top 1,000 world ranking. I think you're doing pretty good. Maybe top 700 world ranking.
You
You're
think
doing
so?
pretty
You
good.
think top 700 is a world class?
Yes, I would say that because there's a lot of people in the world.
I would say, I mean, yeah, this community is ever growing, and I'm not even sure how many people have officially competed in 3x3 now. It's probably a million or over a million. Um, but honestly, I mean I get what you mean, 700. But honestly, I honestly want to say the generic top 100 in the world for that event feels pretty much like it. But I do get what you're saying because like really the top 100 and the top 300 all kind of have, sorry, like the number 100 and the number 200 basically have the exact same time except for like a 2 millisecond difference.
Yeah,
So
pretty
I
much,
could,
especially in
I
2 by 3.
yeah, I could say I could believe that if you're in the top 300 of averages, then you're pretty much world class. But I would
Yeah,
say singles are definitely different,
yeah.
100%.
Well, look,
Like
let me rephrase that. So when I say world class, I actually want to drop 700. I think thought about it a little bit. I actually want to drop that to 500, and I also want to specify. I mean average, like not single, because single can be lucky. Like 2 by 2 single is, I'm not saying it's easy to get, but like it's. I'm talking about average here. So top 500 world rank average, I think, is your world class at that point for me, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah.
Also, I think it differs for different events because like 3 by 3 is such a very tight race. Like
Yeah.
top
So if you're
500
if you're top 500, like I would agree with you in if you're top 500, you're one of the best.
yeah.
But
But
if
then
you're
if you're
top
like
500 in like 7x7,
pipeline,
you're not the best. Like you're
yeah,
really good, but you're probably not the best in the world, obviously.
yeah. If you're top 505 blind, yeah, I guess you're good because you can solve
There's
five
only
blind.
like about 500 people who've done it.
I'm about to say, but I'm not even sure if there's 500 who have a blindfolded mean. So like you're not world class yet. So I think it differs from different events. So I feel like most side events, yeah, all side events, I think it's top five, top 300. You're world class in my opinion. For 2 through 5, I think top 500, and then 6 and 7, it differs for them as well.
Yeah, so basically depending on the event, there's a lot of different things that you say, but honestly, if I really had to like sum it all up, like okay, yeah, I'll ask you first. If you really, besides like we know the differences that we pointed out and shed light on, if you really just had to sum up in a simple sentence, what is a world class speed cuber defined as? How would you put that?
So if somebody came up to me and asked,
Like
what
me.
defines a world class speedkeeper, I would I would say probably somebody who is top 500 in a WCA event, world rank average.
Okay, I know I respect that. Like I mean, I have different. I've sort of different numbers and stuff, but honestly, that's pretty much close to the truth. And yeah, would you agree, or what are your thoughts really on like what I was talking about earlier? Like those two main focus groups is what I believe why what sets them apart, like being so good at pattern recognition and muscle memory. Those two specifically, besides the obvious practice.
Yeah. Um. Well, I definitely agree with that because, like, I'm not exactly sure what Yi Hang knows with algorithms, but I said algorithms was a
He,
big thing, and I'm
yeah, he
pretty sure
does C5.
he just does OLL and PLL. The
Yeah,
sad thing about that, you know who else does OLL and PLL? Me,
Max.
and I
Oh,
average barely sub 11. So it's not all algorithms because obviously he's doing something different from me because I know the exact same algorithms as he does, and I average 11 and he averages sub 5, maybe even sub 4.
mhm.
Not even sure. At this point, he could average sub 3 and I wouldn't know. But so I think it's like you said, it's not all about algorithms. It's definitely not all about practice. I don't think because he is 6 or 7, and I am
He's
16.
he's
So
10.
so oh he's 10. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
My bad,
yeah,
Yi. um,
yeah.
um,
Shawani is like 6 or 7.
Yeah, so there's Ronnie, but he knows DB. Um, so I think it's definitely something. I think practice and algorithms come in a little bit. I definitely think they matter at least a little bit, but then I think pattern recognition and look ahead and mobility of fingers changes a lot because like if you looked at my turning versus Ruhang's turning, there's a big difference in how fast the cube and our fingers move. And if you look at the difference between how many times I pause in the 3x3 solve and how many times Timon pauses in the 3x3 solve, there's such a massive difference that I think definitely look ahead and pattern recognition is definitely playing a huge part in the difference between me, who's an average speed cuber, and Timon or Juani or Yihang or Ruhang as a pro fast speed cuber.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree. And I know there's actually two different things that the two main topics that I think most people would otherwise say, which is what sets a speed cuber apart or as a world class cuber is efficiency and look ahead, which by look ahead I mean look ahead as well as turning speed because they're basically the same thing, like turning fast with look ahead. So turning fast with look ahead and efficiency are the two main groups that people would also say. But look ahead sort of pairs with what I mean by
Pattern
um,
recognition.
pattern recognition as well. So
Yeah.
I sort of phrase them in exact and in just different ways. So pattern recognition
Yeah.
is that, and efficiency is muscle memory, which is how fast you are at that. But I I would say efficiency means two things, which is how efficient you are with your muscle memory, but as well as how efficient you are solving it in basic terms. Like just look at anything Timon does. He the way he you need to save as many moves as you possibly can, do as less moves count as you possibly can, because the less moves you do, the faster you solve it. And not only is, like I said, efficiency like turning like getting that algorithm done as efficient as possible, but getting it done in terms of speed, but getting it done as short as possible. So short and quick is basically what I would use to describe efficiency. And
Yeah.
so yeah,
I also think like I said practice comes in a little bit, but I also think there's things called deliberate practice where you do like slow solves, and I think that doesn't help like massively, but I think it does help a little bit. Um,
I definitely yeah, I think
this
those
yeah,
help a lot because that helps you develop good efficiency because you're
it
not
also
thinking
helps.
solving it fast. You're thinking about the entire difference between that kind of practice is you're not thinking I'm not going to think I'm going to solve it. You're not thinking I'm going to solve this fast. You're thinking how am I solving this? There's no
Yeah,
timer in front of you. There's nothing like that. So it definitely changes things. And I feel like
I
yeah,
also
I
think
definitely wouldn't say it's the main part of becoming a world class cuber, but
yeah, and you can also when you do slow solves, you can see what you're struggling on, or if you film your solves and rewatch them, you can see like what areas you're weak in, and you can deliberately target those and um, obliterate those weaknesses. Just absolutely gun them down and destroy the weaknesses to become faster.
just pull an M6 on them, shoot their brains off. By their brains, I mean your mistakes, your problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have no weaknesses.
Neither do I. Like I said, I'm pretty great at everything.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, if I had to say, if you want to become a world class cuber, focus on these drills. Focus on slow solves because slow solves will develop your efficiency, which pairs with your muscle memory, as well as it, it helps your short and quickness, like I said, and then focusing on learning every single alg for the method that you are a part of, because no matter how advanced it is or whatever, you want to learn as many advanced algorithms to that specific method that you know, because they will help you out, even if it's just a small instance, which also pairs with the pattern recognition, doing a bunch of smaller things like drilling those algs, just doing solves, obviously. Like he said, videoing your solves and watching it frame by frame, critiquing how you hold it, how could you reduce your rotations. You need to be constantly thinking of everything, of how you can improve every single bit of
You
yourself.
need to be judging yourself. When you look
There's,
at yourself solving a cube,
this is
you never
pretty
want to say,
stereotypical
yeah,
thing, but
yeah, you
there's
never want to, yeah,
always room to improve.
you
I'm
never want
talking.
to say to yourself, you never want to say that solve looked good, because guess what? Unless you just got a 3 second solve, it didn't look good. It looked trash to me.
I wouldn't say never, but you know, I would say definitely be proud of how far you go. Remember the most important thing. Do not ever, like Josiah does every night, go onto WCA and look at the rankings and compare yourself with other people and then cry yourself to bed to sleep, and you'll just wake up feeling pretty bad, and it's not good for you. Just focus on yourself. Don't focus on being as good as other people. Right, Josiah?
Yeah, yeah, right. You hit it right on the head, Noah.
Mhm. Yeah. I have a feeling I'm gonna get hit on the head later as well. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
I feel like
that's
that about wraps this up. I've
I'm
spoken
gonna go
probably
cry myself to sleep.
I've spoken as much as I need. I'm gonna go get some water. He's gonna go be depressed, you know. But yeah, I think this was a pretty interesting way of doing this, because we usually just focus on what's about to happen and what just happened in this community. But I like these. If you're liking these, like if you like this new style of just us discussing theories and that this sort of topic, just let us know if you want more of that.
Mhm. And also let us know if you want our world's predictions. We're hoping to make world's predictions.
Yeah, a video soon probably about who's in what podiums and who's gonna be top three.
And
Um,
we have a while, but yeah.
yeah, a few months. If it all turns out to be true, um, Josiah has agreed to pay me $500. If it all turns out to be false, then nothing really happens.
It
But it'll be pretty good.
if Timon's finger breaks, Noah owes me 1,000
What
before
happens
the
if
competition.
Simon's finger breaks?
Um, I owe you 1 penny.
Yeah, and then I'll coin flip and win the next segment.
Oh, okay, bye, buddy.
All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Thanks for sticking to the end. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.